So start with that said, start in a child's pose this morning because it feels so nice. So in child's pose though, reach your arms back and grab the base of your feet, and I'll demonstrate to show you what I mean by that. I'm actually going to turn my fire on. It is so still cold here. It's annoying. So arms reach back and you can kind of just grab the base of your feet. And it's good to have blocks nearby because sometimes you just feel real stiff, and you can let your forehead rest on this block. Yeah. And that is just, it's really comforting and grounding to just connect, like just connect to your breath and your body. And when you get to your mat, have no expectations. The expectation is just to practice yoga, and your practice of yoga is always going to shift. Some days it's more intense, some days it's more restorative, sometimes it's more in the middle. So at any point you feel like you need to reground, regroup, come back here and reclaim your breath, most important. Slide your arms forward. Yep, you could go out and then forward if you have that range of motion, and then press your palms firm into the mat and get a lift of your forearms up off the floor. So the arms start to become set up like a down dog, but you're not quite there yet. Connect thumb, index finger, baby finger, anchor, curl the toes into the mat and start to lift the hips nice and slow to a dog, but take a bent leg dog. Yeah, so I'm showing here, my knees are like really bent. Yeah, and then I want you to plug down. Plug down with your hands, draw your belly in, lift your waist up, and lift your hips way up off your shoulders. And then very slowly think about the center of your heel and start to melt towards the ground, maybe spreading the toes. And the knees may need to stay bent. And then just hold here. Just find some space to maintain the shape. Yeah. Think about your shoulders moving away from your ears this morning. Yeah. And then feel your outer triceps wrap in. The triceps are really helpful in maintaining the shape of the down dog. So you really want to feel them grip in. Yeah. And then just breathe a little bit more into the whole body. Let your head just detach. That's not hard for me. Just let it hang. Yeah. And then just breathe your right leg up into space. Just breathe it up into space. Now, you may be super tight this morning and your right leg might only lift a couple inches from the ground. So be okay. Once again, have no expectations. Maybe you can lift it hip height. Yeah. But don't go any higher than hip height because I want you to really feel your outer left hip plug in, the fanning of your right toes. Good. And then look forward with your eyes and keeping your right leg like lifted and charged up. Look forward and use the momentum to step your right foot forward and through. Come to your fingertips. And if you get here and you feel like the floor is super far, that's why I have blocks nearby because you can always bring the floor up to you. Yeah, I had a friend that was using pasta boxes for a while, but now we've been doing this long enough that I think blocks are definitely in everyone's homes. Lead with your chest. Yeah, and just feel your right hip grip in, feel your back left leg activate, and lead with your heart. So look forward with your eyes without your neck doing anything funky. Yeah, stay. Plant your hands, slide back to dog. Breathe your left leg up, just as high as it's gonna go, no more than hip height. Plug down with your hands. Feel your right hip grip in. Yeah, and feel the inner thigh of your left leg kind of holding the lift of that leg. Keep everything really even. Then look forward with your eyes and let the momentum of that charged up leg step all the way forward and through. And it may be more than one step to get you forward. And then pause. Elevate the hands if needed. Lead a little with your heart and chest. And then just be here. So I find myself, sometimes I get to the mat and I just want to go. I just want to go, 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 go. But being patient as the body kind of warms itself up, but more importantly, your mind kind of gets ready for this moving meditation. And just feel the energy running through that back leg. Feel the little bit of up dog happening in your body. Stay a little longer. Good. Look forward with your eyes. Step your right foot forward. Long spine on the inhale. If the hands don't quite make it, just slide them to your shins this morning. Keep that weight forward though. And then exhale, fold into yourself. Let your head go. Try that again. Inhale, press into the shins or fingertips, line up with your toes, long spine, weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms, stand for a moment. And then here we go, arms slide straight up towards the sky, look up with your eyes. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. Take 2 big steps back to plank. So just step right foot, left foot, right foot, however you got there, plank position, and just pause here in plank. Press through the padded part of your hand. Activate your quadriceps, squeeze your outer legs into the center line of your body. Fix your eyes on one spot. Now, keeping everything really charged up here, just drop your knees down so they're on an angle behind you, such as I'm demonstrating, and keep the toes curled into the mat. This morning, bend your elbows in half at most to a supported push-up. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Bend your elbows to a supported push-up. Draw your belly, your waist in. Make sure the shoulders don't dump below the elbows. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. One more, halfway to a supported push-up. Find something you know you can maintain, even if it's micro bending. Re-straighten supported plank. Lift the kneecaps to a plank position. Hips up and back to a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Good. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top of the mat. You can just walk to get there. Long spine once you arrive. Exhale, fold into yourself. Let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Yep, spread your arms, reach through your fingertips. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. So we go again. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. Step to plank. Step to plank. Pause in plank. Feel. Drop your knees on an angle. Keep the toes just as they are. Halfway to a push-up, supported with your knees down. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Again, halfway to a push-up that works. It can be just a small little bend in your elbows. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. One more, halfway to a supported push-up. Re-straighten the arms, supported plank. Lift the knees and pause in plank if you can. Activate your core. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top. You can step, you can float, however you can get there safely. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Again, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. Step to plank. One more time like this. Pause and plank. Drop your knees on an angle, halfway to a push-up. 3 more supported push-ups. Straighten your arms. Rebend, supported push-up. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. 3rd time's the charm. Halfway to supported push-up. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Lift the knees to plank position. Activate. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So breathe your right leg up, hip height. Look forward with your eyes and let the momentum of your right foot swing forward and through. Come to your fingertips, pause. So it should feel a little better than when you started just a few moments ago. Yeah. Bring your arms all the way forward out in front of you if you can. Yes. Your hands can also come to your hips. It's always nice to know options. So if reaching your arms forward just doesn't feel good in your body, gather your hands to your hips and just keep your arms close to you. But arms forward is going to be the most intense. And then root to rise to a high lunge crescent lunge. So just do your best with creating the poses, the shapes today. Yeah, you're heavy in the standing front thigh. Perfect. Your back leg is super charged up and strong. You're high on the ball of that back foot. Hands to frame your front foot. Just step to a dog. Just step to a dog. Once you get to down dog, breathe your left leg up and back. Just breathe the left leg up and back from the inner thigh. Look forward with your eyes and let the momentum of that leg slide your left foot all the way forward and through. Be on your fingertips for a moment, feel, because this already feels so much better than the first time around. So activate your legs and then reach your arms forward, or simply know you can always have your hands on your hips if that doesn't work for you. But you're in like this hovering, holding position here. Squeezing of your left hip, activating of your back leg, and then start to rise high lunge, crescent lunge. So as you come forward and then up, the hip points move forward and up, the back leg charges up. You drive heavy into that standing left thigh, never into the knee, and you kind of breathe yourself upright. Hold. Just connect to your breath, just feel. Hands to frame your front foot, step to a dog. When you get to down dog, breathe your right leg up again. Nice and high, hip height. Look forward, let the momentum of that leg step all the way forward and through low lunge. Come to your fingertips. This time, turn your back foot on an angle. As soon as I did that, my right hip wants to pop out. So hug your right hip in. Yeah. Activate your back leg, ground through your feet, and then come up, warrior one. So just really simple, effective ways to get into the poses this morning. Know that if your back is sensitive, I'm demonstrating a little bit more of a tip forward with the torso rather than straight up and down. Activate that back leg and breathe. You want to turn your left ribs so they face the front skinny edge of the mat, and then keep your neck nice and neutral. Fix your eyes. Maybe the hands can come to a prayer up towards the sky, gathering the sides of the triceps together. That is optional. Hands to the floor, dog. Just step back, down dog. One more time, breathe your left leg up and back. Flex the foot strong, feel what you're doing. Don't go on automatic, look forward, land your left forward through a low lunge, pause in low lunge. Grip your left hip in, and then without the hip popping out, turn your back foot on a strong angle. Press strong through your feet and legs, and then come up, warrior one. Take your time coming up. A little bit more of a pitch forward if lower back is sensitive, straight up and down if you're okay. Right rib spin forward, activate from the ground up, and maybe the hands can gather to a prayer up towards the sky. It's up to you. Outer triceps grip in, eyes fix on one spot. And just feel the simplicity of the practice. Feel the simplicity of just holding this very basic pose and how great it can feel. Take another giant breath in. Hands to frame your front foot. This time, step back, plank. Pause and plank. Lower halfway to a push-up that works for you this morning. Drag yourself through an up dog or baby cobra. This is our first one, so whatever feels best for you, up dog or baby cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Good. Drop onto all fours, tabletop position, just for a moment. Yeah. Tabletop position. Extend your right leg straight back in space. Reach your left arm forward. Reach your left arm back, bend your right leg, and grab your ankle and kick. If you can't get hold of your ankle, it's okay. Just reach with your hand back towards the back skinny edge of the mat and make the shape. Yeah, drive your torso forward. Good job. Release the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Yeah, take your left hand back down to the ground. Turn your back, take your right foot down too. So it looks like this, looks like a half plank. And then you're gonna pivot and you're gonna open up into a modified side plank on the left hand. So turn your back right foot into like a warrior two position and keep your left knee down on the ground. And then stack yourself up this way. Yeah. And then if you want, you can float your leg up off the floor, the top leg. And then if you want to reach for your ankle or your foot in this, you can do that or not. 2 more breaths, guys. Release the arm and the leg. Look to the floor, both hands down, tabletop position. Just nice and simple here. Extend your left leg back and your right arm forward. So reach the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Fix your eyes on one spot. Reach back with your right arm, bend your left leg, and see if you can get hold of your ankle. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. Just make a shape that works for you. Keep steering your chest and your torso forward. And just breathe. Release the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Keep the lift of the left leg for a moment. Bring the right hand down. Lower the left toes to meet the ground. Turn the left toes out and then open up like this. So it's like taking your left foot like it's going into a warrior two position with your right knee down. Create the support here and then float the leg if you feel like you're ready. And then if you want to add any bind, grab your ankle and kick behind you. Everything in steps. So sometimes just staying with the foot grounded feels really nice for the body. So know the places that you can stop and pause. Release the leg, release the arm. Eyes meet the floor, left hand comes down, spin your left toes to the ground, step to a plank. Now in plank, lower halfway to your push-up. Drag yourself through a nice, smooth, clean up dog. See if it feels any better, different. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice work. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there this morning. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into your first chair. Yeah. Chair pose, weights in your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. We're going to put it all together with some B's, okay? Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit nice and deep into chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Step or float through your version of a vinyasa. So I just step back to plank and then lower a little bit until I'll push up. And then a smooth transition to an up dog or baby cobra. Hips up and back, down dog. When you arrive in down dog, land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, rise on the exhale breath, warrior one. Hands meet the floor to a plank. If you're adding the push-ups, now would be the time. Drag yourself through a back bend here, hips up and back, down dog. On your breath, the left foot lands, the back foot turns. You rise on the exhale, warrior one. Hands meet the floor when you're ready to move through a vinyasa that works for you. Chaturanga push-ups are optional, as well as the back bend, up dog or baby cobra. Hips up and back. We meet in a down dog, we regroup. Deep breath in, full breath out. Look to the top, keep your arms nice and straight. Step or float your feet there. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold. Sit deep into chair, weight moves into your heels. Yeah, I like taking chair. That's great, Andrea. With your feet a little separated, it feels much better for lower back. Yes, press up to stand up. Standing position, top of mat, drag the hands to prayer, drop your arms. Here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Everyone's gonna move a little quicker, a little faster, a little different because we're all different. Hands come back down through vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, anchor and rise. Warrior one. Back down we go through vinyasa. Upward facing or cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing. Be patient and hold. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Get there nice and light. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Again from the top. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Sit deep into chair. Heavy in your heels as you sit back into chair. Yeah. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. The right foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come back down on your breath, your beat. So if it's too fast, you slow it down. Upward facing, hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Nice. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. We're just going to do one more and we'll move on. Look where we want to go. Step or float to the top. So just now we're rolling with it. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit deep into chair. Just sit chair. Yeah, there you go. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Last one. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit heavy in your heels for chair pose. Dive over bent legs, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing point. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Anchor through the blade of your back foot, press, and then bring it back down on your breath through a push-up. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one, come on up, take your time. Back down we go, through a vinyasa. Upward facing point, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet kind of halfway up the mat and then walk your hands to your feet. So you're just in the center of your mat. Hands to your hips, come halfway up, come the rest of the way up. So just pivot towards one side. Yeah, put a block at the right side of your mat if you have it and one at the left. Just stand in the middle of your mat in Tadasana, feet together. Stand on your left leg first and bend your right leg up into tree pose. Yeah, so I'm demonstrating the foot high on the inside of the thigh, but balance may not always be with us. It's not always our friend. So the foot can be as low as it needs. I just never want you to have your foot pressing into the knee, okay? So either high up or somewhere on the calf or the ankle. Now it's kind of fun to grow the branches out to the side like this. Yeah. So if you have the balance, do so. If not, hands can just draw to a prayer. And just breathe. Just create this very simple shape. Hug your outer hips in. Ground yourself. Maybe bring your eyes up a little. Good. Hands to prayer if they're not already there. Step down. Lean onto your right leg and just bend your left leg up, tree pose. Hug your outer hips in. Yeah. Hands come to prayer. And you can grow your branches how they feel good. Sometimes it's nice to have the palms open like this. And just breathe. Fix your eyes on one spot And the imperfections of this pose make things interesting. So a little wavy, a little unsteady. Right, it's to be expected. It's not always solid. Stay with it. Hands to prayer if they're not already there. Step down. So now just separate your feet pretty wide, okay? Pretty wide. Open up your arms for a minute. And when I say wide, I mean ankle and wrist should line up. Pivot your left toes in a little and just turn your right leg out. And then bend into your right thigh for warrior two. So just gonna take warrior two right like this. Yeah, and just breathe here. Just breathe here. You got it. Side ribs very long. There's no turning your upper torso. Heavy in that front thigh, back leg nice and activated. And then the tailbone drops, so you're nice and low in the pose. Soften the shoulders. Draw the breath in and out. And then maybe close your eyes here and just hold. Just accepting the posture, maintaining a nice steady breath. Wrapping your inner right thigh open. And allowing yourself to feel. The arms may start to get a little fatigued. That is normal. Sit a little deeper, guys. Blink your eyes open if you drifted somewhere. Rest your right arm on the top of your thigh. Slide your left arm up. Staying here, wrapping your left arm up and forward. It's up to you. Soften the right shoulder. Grip your right hip in super strong and turn your bottom ribs. Staying here is fine. If you'd like to reach down and grab a block to the outside of your right foot, that's the next go. Yeah. So I like moving nice. This morning's practice is about moving in steps and just feeling everything that we do. Like I noticed just right off the bat, not taking up dog or cobra early on, my lower back felt like really nice. So just little things that we can change or taking extra steps to go where we're going. Right. If having the arm reaching forward, such as I'm demonstrating, bugs your shoulder, just have the arm up or hand can always slide to your hip. Okay. Keep turning your bottom ribs towards the sky and keep gripping your right hip in. We're staying a little longer though. So just feel the pose, feel where you're going, feel the hip opening, maintain your breath. Left arm up if it's not already there. Let the length of that top arm and the strength of it pull you up, warrior two. Arms stay nice and charged up, guys. Warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Turn your left toes in on an angle. From your left hip, turn your left toes out. Open up your arms again. Sit deep, warrior two. So if you only have one block, you kind of have to move it around, right? That's okay. Take a few moments here to kind of iron out this warrior two. Warrior two. Lengthen the tailbone, side ribs nice and long. Breathe your collarbone, your chest open. Always make sure your knee tracks over your ankle, really important. And then maybe close your eyes and just let yourself settle in here for a few breaths. Where can you soften? Where can you let go of? Where can you think a little less? Just send the breath there and hang on. Eyes open. Left arm rests on the top of the left thigh, right arm slides straight up. Start with this. It's simple, it's smooth, it's crisp. Grip your left hip in, turn your bottom ribs. Maybe the right arm has the activity to drive forward. Maybe the arm just needs to stay up or hand to hip. Slide your left hand down to the outside of your left foot if you're looking for a little bit more. Soften the shoulder away from your ear, everybody. Activate your right leg. Stay with it. Grip your left hip in, keep turning your bottom ribs. Breathe. Right arm straight up. Let the strength and the length of that top arm pull you up, warrior two. Keep your arms charged up. Don't let them drop yet. Straighten your left leg on trap. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your left toes in. Turn your right toes back out. Reopen your arms. Trikonasana, triangle pose on your front right leg. Pull up on the front of your right shin. Lean back a little. Hook your outer hips in. Stack yourself up. So find somewhere on your leg where it's comfortable enough for your lower back, because it's not a back bend. So being up a little higher is totally available. Using a block to the outside of the calf may suit your body today. I like pulling up on the shin like I'm moving the pant leggings. Right, kind of pulling up on the leg. Look down with your eyes and now transfer your weight using that block. Left hand can come to hip, floating up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So making this a really seamless transition. If you're near a wall in your house, you're welcome to lean against it. Stack yourself up, left arm extends to the sky. A strong flex of your left toes. A lifting of your waist and your outer ribs. Adding the Chopasana bind if you like to today. You can reach for your left ankle, kick behind you. This is optional. Most important part here is that your breath is flowing naturally. Your right foot and hip stay facing forward. Try not to collapse. That's why the block is really useful. If you took a bind, extend the leg, extend the arm. Pause in Ardha Chandrasana. We're not quite done with the pose yet, so just be here for another breath or two. The transition will be back to triangle, so move the block with you, take your time, stepping back, pull up on the front of the shin, Trikonasana. If it was a hot mess, it's okay. Top arm pulls you up. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Hands to your hips. Pivot the right toes in. From your left hip, turn your left toes out. Set up your stance, open up your arms. It's nice to do it this way because if you want a shorter position, take it. If you want longer, widen it. Tip forward, Trikonasana. And always a little bend behind the left knee is going to be helpful. Utilize a block if that feels like it feels good in your body. Pull up on the front of the shin if that's where you're going and stack yourself up. And then breathe. You don't want to feel like you're going into your lower back, so support the pose with the necessary tools. Hook your left hip underneath you, anchor through the feet and the legs, and feel the obliques as they support you, so you're not dumping down. Keep the breath flowing through your body. Now look down and see if you can seamlessly transfer your weight forward and pop up into Ardha. It's not always that pretty. Right hand may need to come to hip. Steer the left hip forward, the left foot forward, and then stack yourself up. I like the block on the highest setting, forward enough and over to the left enough that I can get, enough support. Side ribs are long. Add in the Chopasana if you feel that you can grab your foot easily, or omit that if you're just happy balancing and maintaining stability in its natural form. Kick behind you if you're going for that version though. Breathe, bottom ribs turn. You see if you could start to play with your gaze. Where are you looking? Hopefully not the floor, because you just want to lay down. And if you fall out, it's okay. Just come back, try it again. If you took a bind, just release regular Ardha. Do it slow. Oops, I almost bit it. Yeah. Transition together the best that you can, Trikonasana. Take your time. It's all about the mindset. If you think step back triangle, do it really slow, deliberate, pull up on the front of the shin. Side ribs long, stack yourself up and breathe. Top arm pulls you up, arms straight, legs straight, hands to your hips. Yes. Pivot the right toes forward, step to the top of the mat, stand for a second. Just feel. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, look up, dive over, bend knees forward, fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So if your blocks are kind of all over the place, just take a second and put them at the front of the mat, just so you have them. Okay, here we go. You're going to slide your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, and come up warrior one. Yeah. Warrior one. Drop your arms by your side body, interlace your hands behind your back. If this is unavailable to you, just take it really loose, okay? Inhale the breath, lift the chest. Exhale, come forward, humble warrior. Humble warrior, you're squaring your hips towards the front edge of the mat. You're hugging your right hip in, okay? You can either snuggle into the right shoulder to the inside of the right leg, or simply just rest your stomach on your thigh. Either way works just fine. Good. Stay with that. Two more breaths. Good. You're going to come up halfway. Okay. Take your hands to your hips. Or your hands, actually, let's bring them to prayer. Okay. And then you're going to press off into warrior three. So this is why I said have the blocks at the front of the mat, because sometimes your balance gets a little rough. Bend pretty significantly in that standing front thigh, front leg. Yeah. And then the goal is to try and bring the hands to prayer or the arms back alongside the body. But like we practiced early on, nothing is opening. Everything is really square towards the mat. Good. And your chest, the eyes of the shoulders, lift a little higher than everything else if you can. So if your hands are down on blocks, it's fine. Just help yourself out. So you're going to start to look to the floor. Left hand's going to come down. Right hand's going to come to the flat part of your back. You're going to do your best to keep your left leg hip height. Lift from that inner thigh. And then we're moving into this revolved Ardha Chandrasana, right? So that's length and then twist. And if you don't have this in you today, just stay in this kind of amended warrior three like I'm demonstrating here. So be okay with doing a little less. It's fine. This is great. Focus on your core. If you're adding the twist, stack yourself up. Maybe the right arm can extend up towards the sky. Notice that the right hip wants to hook out. So hook it in and then lift from your left inner thigh and twist open. Look sideways, maybe look up, stay with it. One more big breath in. See where you can go. Look to the floor. Both hands come down. Step your feet together. I actually have them immediately separated and sit into chair because I like my chair pose now with my feet a little apart. Hands drag to prayer. Inhale that breath. Hook the elbow, twist to the right. You're going to twist to the right. So chair twist to the right. You got it. Keep sitting deep in that chair. And if your elbow does not naturally want to go to the outside, don't force it. Do a little bit more of an air twist. Stay heavy in your legs. Keep breathing. Pull around to chair, guys. Look forward with your eyes and chair. So as you press to stand in chair, drag your right leg up to a 90-degree angle. So you're balancing on your left leg. Your right leg's at a 90-degree angle. Your arms are straight up towards the sky. Go ahead and wrap your right thigh the best that you can around your left thigh. Yeah, and then wrap so your right leg moves around your left and then your right arm underneath your left for eagle. So you're wrapping your arms and wrapping your legs for eagle. Andrew, you remember this one. This is an oldie but goodie. So wrap your right thigh like you're sitting under a table, like you're wrapping your legs over each other, and then wrap your arms up and sit deep. There you go. Like you're in a baby chair. Steer your knees forward. Fix your eyes on one spot, ideally something that's not moving. Unravel just your arms, okay? Just your arms. Your arms are straight up like a chair. Your legs are still raveled together. Good. Unravel and step back, warrior one on the left side. Yes. And if it was like, oh, you're all over the place, take a second, reset. Warrior one, your left foot is forward and your right leg is back. Drop your arms down. Good luck remembering your grip. Opposite of what you took last time. Inhale your breath, lift your heart. Exhale, come forward, humble warrior. Stomach could rest on your left thigh, or you can snuggle your left shoulder to the instep of your left leg. Steer your right ribs forward. Press strong through the blade of your back right foot. And hang here for a few more breaths. Your outer left hip likes to grip out, so hook it under. Yeah. And let the breath just kind of move. Great. Come halfway up and pause. Unleash your hands. Your hands can either go to your hips or hands to prayer. Look forward and launch warrior 3. And if you need a block or something underneath you to kind of even you out to start, go ahead and do that. Finding balance here. Warrior 3, a pretty deep bend in your standing left leg. Then look to the ground if you're not already looking. Right hand comes to the block or most likely the floor of the block. Left hand to the flat part of your back. Lift from your inner right thigh. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Lift from your inner right thigh up. Maybe point your toes. You can get a little more lift. Look sideways and then stack it up. Grip your left hip in and twist. Have your left hand down. Left hand down. Yeah. Oh, I think you're on the wrong leg. That's why I said that. It's revolved Ardha Chandrasana, the twisting version. 2 more breaths. Good job. Eyes meet the floor. Both hands come down. Step your feet together at the top of the mat. Sit deep into chair. I know you're really excited about it. So chair, sit deep. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Twist to the left. So what I mean by an air twist, and this is good to know, is really work on the structure of your legs, and you can just stay upright. So for a lot of us in the lower back, it starts to feel kind of crunchy if you hook and you get in. So you can also just stay upright and just work on real even keeled balance here. Yes, making sure that the 2 knees stay together and they don't slide past each other. That generally comes from the hips. Strong chair. Last time, pull around to chair, heavy in your legs, arms are moving up. So as you press to stand here, let your left leg kind of drift up and just come to standing on your right leg with your arm straight up and down. Wrap your left thigh around your right. Wrap your left arm under eagle. Squeeze your legs nice and tight together. Get heavy in that standing right heel. Sit a little deeper. Keep the legs bound up. Just unravel your arms. As you press to stand, unraveling, step your left leg back, warrior 1. Warrior 1. Good. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Lean out, hook the elbow and twist. Your back heel will naturally need to lift up off the ground in order to do this. Yeah, so it's crescent with a twist, guys. Make sure the stance is long enough. You can always drop your back knee if you need to. You got it. Perfect. So make sure you're on the ball of your back foot or your back knee is down on the mat if you need to modify this. So Andrea, take a longer step. So it's going to look like this. So you're in the lunge and you're hooking and twisting. Back knee can drop as extra support. Lean back a little to get in there. You got it. Perfect. Eyes meet the floor, hands come down to frame your front foot. Just step to a dog, step to a down dog. Yep. Left foot lands forward. Yeah, just go this time right to crescent. So if you drop your knee down, drop your knee and then come up. Yes. If not, just come up crescent, drag your hands to prayer, inhale the breath, hook the elbow and twist now the opposite direction. So you're going to twist to the left. I love this pose. it doesn't always feel great in your lower back. So knowing the modification of dropping the back knee is really good to just know, right? Lean back here and get in there. Rip your left hip in a little stronger. Good. Eyes meet the floor, hands to frame your left foot. Pause for a second. If your back knee is down, just for a brief moment, lift it up off the ground, straighten out your left leg, and just stay low to the floor. You're going to pivot down the center. So you're going into a wide straddle. So your legs are nice and wide. Come to the fingertips, long spine, and exhale, fold. Fold down the center. There's so many good options of this fold. You can hook the big toes. Yeah, you can walk your hands in between your 2 feet. You can place your hands on blocks if meeting the floor is just, problematic. What we don't want is to sit back in our heels. So our weight needs to continuously transfer forward so our hips can lift nice and high and the head can drop down because the head is dropping below the heart. This is considered an inversion. Good. Come to the fingertips, long spine, and just come halfway up on your fingertips. Creep your hands to the front skinny edge of the mat. Let your left toes pivot forward. You're back in this lunge, how we started, and then step to plank. Lean on your right hand for Vashisthasana side plank. I'm staggering my feet, or you can go back to the modified version with the knee down that we took early. Lift from your bottom hip through your top hip, draw upright. You got to kind of press the floor away to lift yourself up. Eyes meet the floor, left hand drifts down. Just bring it forward an inch or two and pivot right to the other side. My right foot, the way I'm demonstrating, is in front of my left. My bottom hip is pressing through my top hip to the sky. Take this however you think you can hold for a few more breaths. Dropping the bottom knee is always an option. Eyes look up. One more big breath, lift 1 inch higher. Eyes go to the floor, plank position. Slow push up if you have it in you. Slow up dog or cobra if it feels good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Slide your right knee forward for a half pigeon. Half pigeon, yeah. And fold. Fold your body, your torso forward. It's a great hip opener, but more importantly, just let your mind go. Good. Curl the left toes under. Just step to down dog and just sweep your left knee forward, half pigeon. Just go right to the other side. Just go right to the other side. And then let yourself drift off. A couple minutes, just a minute or two. Let's press the torso up, lean onto the left side, swing the right leg forward, and let's lay down. Bring your blocks with you just so they're nearby. Lay down on your backs, okay? Bend your knees in half, like we're going to bridge, but we're not going there yet. We're gonna do a little core work. So pull your torso up, just lift the shoulder blades. If this isn't great for your neck, just bring your hands behind your head for a little extra support. The idea is that your lower back is pressing pretty firm into the mat, shoulder blades are lifted. Now keep that lift and lift your legs on an angle that works. So halfway is gonna be a little bit more intense. If you need your legs straight up towards the sky at a 90-degree angle, this is where you should go, okay? Find a spot that works. Keep the lift of the upper shoulders. Rebend your legs, take the feet back to the floor. Now lift your chest higher up off the ground and then exhale the breath, let it go. So we're gonna do a bunch and we'll add some fun stuff. Pull yourself up, shoulders lift. Lift your legs on an angle that works for you. Keep the lift of the shoulders and the lower back spreading. Lower the legs down, replant the feet, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle that works. Lower the legs down, rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, lower it down. Pull it back up, shoulders lift. Lift your legs on an angle that works. Lower your heels and tap them to the ground or just lower them an inch. Lift them back up. Rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. One more like that. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Lower your heels, maybe tap them. Lift them back up. Rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Lift the legs straight up towards the sky. Good. Reach your fingertips towards the sky. So if the neck is kind of bothering you, you can always slide a block underneath and just really work on the lifting and the scooping out of the shoulders. So my head is supported, but my core is engaged. My legs are straight up and down, my shoulders are lifted, and I'm reaching for the sky towards my toes. And I'm just holding here. And I'm holding and I'm drifting the shoulder blades higher up off the floor as I scoop out the belly more. Hold and breathe. More intensity, the arms start to drift back. Maybe the arms can go straight back. Mine don't go that far. So just lift. Keep the legs straight up. Keep scooping out the belly. Hold 5 more breaths. An isometric core exercise. Keep spreading the lower back. Keep the lift of the shoulders. Bring the arms straight up and down towards the sky. Keep the lift of the shoulders. Lower the left leg. It can lower an inch from your left right toes or an inch from the floor. Keep the lift of the shoulders. Bring it back up. Lower the right leg an inch, 2 inches, 10 inches. Let it hover is going to be the most intense. Bring it back up. My shoulders are still lifted. Lower back spreading. Left leg lowers. Any amount, could be an inch. Left leg lifts back up. Keep lifting the shoulders. Right leg lowers. Let it hover. It's going to be the most intense. Lift it back up. Hold for 5. Lift higher for 4. It's almost like you're elevated towards the sky for 3. 1 inch higher, 2, and 1 release. Bend your legs in half. Lift your hips up. Take your block. Place it underneath your low back. Set up for supported bridge. Supported bridge. You got it. So play with the splay of the block that works for you, how high it needs to be underneath. The highest setting is going to be the most intense. Regular bridge, if you don't have a block, you can clasp your hands. And then when you feel ready, start to lift your legs to the sky, if you feel ready. Yes, so this is like legs up the wall, and this is one of the best things to do to flush lactic acid. That's what makes us sore in our legs. If you can clasp your hands around the block, that would be great, because that's creating the little back bound. Now close your eyes here. Keep your legs elevated directly over your hips, but now the block is supporting you. Rebend the legs in half. You can do one at a time or both. Get the feet flush to the floor. Pause in supported bridge. Supported bridge. Pause in supported bridge. Then lift your hips an inch from the ground and move the block out from underneath you. Let your tailbone hit the floor. Give your knees a giant squeeze in towards your chest. Reach for the outer blades of your feet for happy baby. Yeah. Hug the knees directly in, give them a giant squeeze. So if you have the block, guys, do this. Take the block and place it in between your thighs, the long direction, right? And then lift your hips, drop your knees to the right and torso to the left. And just take the supine twist with the block in between the legs. Yeah. And then come up to center and shimmy your hips to the right and drop your knees to the left. Take the supine twist. I like the block. It kind of gives you a nice little support. Come up to center, remove any objects out of the way, and set up for final Shavasana. If you have two blocks, you can slide them underneath your thighs. So this is the best part of the practice. Complete rest. Close your eyes. Just let go. Nice big breath in. Complete full exhale, breath out. Reawaken, stretch the arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a bear hug, a squeeze in. And then with that wrap of a squeeze in, rock yourself up and sit up nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall in this newfound body of yours. And just feel the effects of this morning's practice. Every time you come, it's different, which is what makes it great. Bow your head for a second, have some closure. Most importantly, have some gratitude. Lift your head, open your eyes. A big namaste. Go out there, have an awesome afternoon, and catch y'all soon.